Rob, the start of a very packed schedule, as we keep alluding to now, with Kidderminster coming up tomorrow, but off the back of Saturday and a good win, obviously keeps a bit of positive momentum going for the boys. So I suppose it can make it that slight bit easier going into all those games when you're coming into it with a bit of a good feeling about the place.
Yeah, definitely. It's always better going into games when you've won, you've played well, and you've got a little bit of momentum. But I think we know full well, especially in this league and this level, is that can change very quickly. So we can't be complacent. We have to make sure we understand why we've got good results, why we played well, and tweaking the things that we need to tweak to make sure we're more solid and able to hurt teams at one end and stop them hurting us at the other.
Yeah, and touching on Kidderminster tomorrow, obviously a fairly lengthy midweek trip for yourselves, but in terms of Kidderminster specifically, obviously a team under new management with Phil Brown going in there recently. He's kind of turned form around a bit as well, despite them being in the bottom four still. Their form over the last 5 or 10 has been anything but that, really. So a pretty different prospect to probably what you faced earlier on in the season as well. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, manager of his experience, he's going to have that impact and he's going to make them solid. And yeah, they're playing good football. They're big, they're strong, they've got loads of energy. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen is their energy output. And obviously their structure, set pieces, they're really dangerous. So they're just a very good team. Their players have had to adapt to a bit like we did. They've got to adapt to the new league, the new level. And obviously with someone like Phil's experience, it's only going to aid them and help them. As you can see I think the biggest thing is how solid they've been since he's come in, and their shape and their press. So we know it's going to be a really, really tough game. It's a good place to go, good atmosphere, good club. And we're just looking forward to it. We're just relishing relishing these games, relishing the running. We know this is now the start of God knows how many games in such a short period, and we've just got to make sure that we just keep grinding out results, keep playing good football, and keep building so that, same as before, every week we just get a little bit better, and just keep improving. And ultimately, as long as the lads are enjoying themselves and expressing themselves, then that's all I'll be happy with. Just making sure we stick to the key principles in and out of possession, which we've done really well so far.
Yeah, and in terms of the squad itself, with that amount of games that we've got coming up over the next, well, until the end of the season really now, but do you feel like you're at a stage where you're having to try and manage the load in the boys and that kind of thing? Obviously Saturday was quite a heavy pitch as well, which kind of probably takes even more out of the boys off playing on that as well.
Yeah, we've not got loads of options at the moment, with players being injured, coming back fit, etc. And obviously having to, like we talked about before, we have to manage the situation over the season. Hopefully we've got Tink starting training back now, which is good. Greg, Tommy aren't too far away. Connor McBride running around today. So hopefully those boys are back sooner rather than later. So yeah, but again, this is why it's a squad game. This is why we need to really come together and stick to the principles and stick to the concepts that we use, because it gives us safety and routine within our structure, so that if there are changes, or if we're a bit tired, or if we're a bit overworked, then at least we know we reset to our basics, then it will get us through tough periods. But the lads have been absolutely tremendous. Their output, their effort, their energy, especially on a tough surface against Wilston and against a very good team, that's so pleasing. And as much as it is hard and you're tired, you also want to play every game. So that's the challenge to the lads, to make sure they stay in the team, make sure they keep their energy levels high, and we're just trying to keep pushing forward one game at a time.
Yeah, and you mentioned Tinks there, sort of starting to rejoin in training a little bit. I mean, I think it's October since he's been out, but how much of a positive is it? I know you mentioned there's not a whole lot of options at the minute, but that Tinks is sort of on the fringes of starting to get back into things and potentially coming back in soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Tinks will strengthen any squad at this level, any team. So it's brilliant to have him back. Obviously, I think you can tell from his enthusiasm that he's enjoying being back on the pitch. It's been a long road for him, and he was playing so well before he got injured. A bit of a freak injury for him. So I think we wanted to come back in with a point to prove, to try and help us towards the end. And obviously having Tink stepping back into the squad with his experience and the way he is around the group, and obviously his quality on the pitch will be huge. But yeah, we just need to make sure that we take it game by game, and the lads who are playing now need to make sure that all that work they've done over the course of the season they maintain, and make it really difficult for Tinks to get back in. But I think ultimately with the amount of games we've got, I think there's going to be a couple of ridiculous scenarios coming up soon with games that we're just going to have to manage the squad the best we can and manage the lads. And yeah, I think our strength's always in the pack, isn't it? So we just have to make sure we stick together, keep working hard, because like we've seen all season, I don't think there's been one or two standout players. I think everyone's contributed unbelievably well over the course of the season, been in and out of the team and in the squad, but it's the mentality that gets you through in those moments.